What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing my NFL post-off-season power rankings. Now, I know the off-season hasn't started yet, but it hasn't ended yet, but it's coming to a close because the two biggest events, free agency and the draft, are over. So it's going to be the post-off-season NFL power rankings. I didn't do power rankings last season, but I will be doing them this year. It's just going to be 10 teams. This is all 32. It's not going to be in depth for every team, but it's going to be a good brief breakdown. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get into it. Starting out at 32, I got to give it to the Texans. It's looking like Deshaun Watson, because of his allegations, won't be playing next season. He won't be playing for the Texans next season. But he may not even play for another team next season. They brought in Philip Lindsay. They brought in the most free agents, but none of them were really impact except for Lindsay and Desmond King. But I don't think it's going to make a big impact. And I think they're the worst team in the NFL. And by the way, this isn't record. This is just how I think the team will be next season. So the Texans may go 3-14 and the Eagles go 2-15, but I still think the Texans are worse, if you know what I mean. But next, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's just with the Eagles are in hardcore rebuild mode. We still don't know what's up with Jalen Hurts, if he's going to be the quarterback, which he probably will, but Joe Flacco's there. The defense is a mess, and then the offense is improving, but I still don't think the receiving game. Devontae Smith a bit undersized. The undersized comment people would say that and they would doubt him in college, but it obviously didn't work because he went to Heisman. But the NFL is a totally different game. But I don't think the Eagles are going to be a good team. The next Detroit Lions. I like what the Lions did in the draft. I think they drafted a wide receiver way too late. I think they should have went wide receiver 100% in the second round. But Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't too bad. I'm sure they got Tyrell Williams, but they addressed the offensive line need. I really like the Penei Sewell pick, so I think Lions at 30. 29 is the Jags. The Jags had a successful offseason and brought in Shaquille Griffin, Carlos Hyde, Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. They brought in a lot of talent, so I like what they did there. They also brought in Tyson Campbell, I believe. And I may be wrong. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, something like that. But I like what Jags did, honestly. It's just I don't think they're going to be much improved from last year. Next, the Atlanta Falcons. You were thinking the Jets. I know you were thinking the Jets. But the reason why I'm going the Falcons right here is because they're really just not improving the defense. All right, Julio Jones is expected to leave because they won't be able to sign their rookies if Julio Jones doesn't leave. But they didn't address the defense like I kind of hoping they were gonna. I think the offense is fine. I think if Ridley is going to be a fine wide receiver one. Russell Gage is pretty good. They got Kyle Pitts in there. The running back and quarterback situation is still questionable. And then, of course, the defense. I don't like the defense at all. And next, 27 New York Jets. My reasoning behind this is because the Jets had the best draft in the NFL. You can say it's the Bears. You can say it's the Chargers, the Vikings. You can say it's the Browns, but it was the Jets. The Jets addressed all their offensive problem needs. They brought in the quarterback. They brought in O-line, which I really like the Elijah Vera Tucker pick. They brought in receiver. They brought in running back. They brought in what they needed, and I think the Jets will not be terrible, but they won't be anywhere good. Give it 3 years, and the Jets will be a controversial playoff team. 26 is Cincinnati Bengals. I like the Jamar Chase pick a little bit. I think Sewell was the better fit, but Joe Burrow, of course, wanted to reunite with his teammate. But I think what's really bringing me down for them is just the O-line. I don't think it's good enough to carry them to it. I don't think it's going to be a good team, and I think in the future it will be good. And hopefully Jamar Chase can make some magic happen because he's going to have to live up to a lot of hype because Bengals fans are pretty furious that they didn't take an offensive lineman. 25 Denver Broncos. The Broncos brought in Kyle Fuller, which I really liked. I think the defense is very good if he can stay healthy. I don't know what's up with Von Miller. I'm expecting them to cut him probably before they require the 54-man roster. They'll probably cut him then. But I don't know what they're going to do with him. But I think if they can stay healthy, the Broncos will be a decent team. And if they get Aaron Rodgers, but for now, the offense is lackluster and the defense is pretty good. But at 25, I think sufficient. 24, the Las Vegas Raiders had a terrible draft, although they did bring in Trevor Merrick. Alex Leatherwood was a desperate reach, and they were acting like they had no one to draft. They had a lot of potential players, but the defense is terrible. Carr's got no O-line except for, Carr's got not much O-line. He lost Trent Brown, Gabe Jackson, and Rodney Hudson, and Carr doesn't have receivers either. 23, the New York Giants. I know they brought in Adoree Jackson. I know they brought in Kenny Golladay. It's still not good enough. Defense is very underrated, but Daniel Jones is still their quarterback. The offensive line still needs a lot of work, and Saquon Barkley can't stay healthy. The New York Giants don't impress me to be a top 20 team. Maybe in the future, but for now, they're not. 22, Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, I like what they've been doing. They reached on the J.C. Horn pick. I thought they were for sure going to go Surtain. But Sam Darnold, he's going into a new offense with a better coach, better receivers, probably better O-line, and a much better running back. Christian McCaffrey's returning. The defense is improving slowly. It's still not great, but it's improving. I mean, Jeremy Chin they got. They went J.C. Horn, so the corners, they brought in A.J. Bowie. So the Panthers are improving. 21, Chicago Bears. They brought in Justin Fields. They brought in Tevin Jenkins. They had a very good draft, although I just don't believe in the secondary, all right? I think they should have taken Shaun Wade over Larry Borum, but I don't believe in the secondary, right? They lost their best corner, Kyle Fuller, and now their corner game is just kind of Jalen Johnson, and then I can't think of any. Eddie Jackson is good, but I don't believe – I think the Bears' defense is regressing. It's not going to be as good as it was last year. And the offense is slightly getting better. The O-line still isn't going to be great. And really, we all know how quarterbacks out of Ohio State come out. And if that conspiracy is true, then the Bears are in for a rude awakening. Maybe Justin Fields can break that curse, though. But next, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to be healthy this year, and I would love to put them 15 through 10, but I just can't because of the coaching. I don't think Mike McCarthy's a good coach, and I like how they improved the defense. They went defense in almost every pick. I like the Micah Parsons pick, so they really stacked up front seven, but the secondary is still very poor, and the offensive line still needs improvement, and hopefully they can return healthy, but for now, they're at 2019 Steelers. Their offensive line fell apart. Marquise Pouncey, I believe, retired. Andre Villanueva went to the Ravens, I believe. So the offensive line is terrible. They didn't address it in the draft. They went a running back and a tight end. So I don't like what the Steelers did in the draft. They didn't make any free agent splashes, so that's why they're at 19. 18, New Orleans Saints. People are probably going to be questioning this one, but my reasoning behind this is because the New Orleans Saints don't have Tom Brady. I mean, I was going to make a reference to Tom Brady. The New Orleans Saints don't have Drew Brees anymore. They had Fumbletron. I heard that from Breezy Sports, but like I said, they have Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, if they start Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston, I'm going to be furious, but they don't have Drew Brees, and I know Drew Brees was very much regressing, but we all saw what happened to the Patriots. The Patriots, people were like, oh, the Patriots will be fine without Tom Brady. They weren't, all right? I think that's going to be similar to the Saints. They still have Thomas. They still have Kamara, but the defense is getting older and older every day. Their corner need is they still need a corner bad, and it's not looking like it's going to get much better. They let Marcus Williams go, and the front seven's just getting older with Cameron Jordan and Demario Davis. 17, Washington football team. The Washington football team I really like, and I like what they did. They brought in William Jackson. They brought in Curtis Samuel. They brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick. They also brought in Jamin Davis. So I think I really like them. I think their offense is still questioning me. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I would love to see Heineke play. Both of those quarterbacks are goats. I love both of Heineke and Fitzpatrick. I really don't know who's going to start. I believe it's going to be Fitzpatrick. But the defense, we all know how crazy good that is. But my thing is they just went 7-9, and I don't know what's going to happen to them. They brought in a few good additions, but I can't say that. I think they're a playoff team, but I can't say they're a top 15 team yet. 16, Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, I love what they've been doing. They have their offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert, and they just only gave him better weapons. Now, I know they lost Hunter Henry, but they brought in Jared Cook to replace him, who is a bit older, but it's still Jared Cook's a serviceable tight end. They also brought in Corey Linsley to add to the Brian Bulaga offensive line. Justin Herbert will probably have a lot better protection this year. The defense is also improving, so I like what the Chargers are doing, and hopefully we can see Herbert in the playoffs. 15, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, I think, are the dark horse for the division in the NFC North, all dependent on if Aaron Rodgers leaves. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't leave, we all know who's going to win that division. But if he doesn't, I'm going to give it to the Vikings, all right? The Vikings have a healthy defense, all right? Eric Kendricks is coming back. Michael Pierce is coming back. They brought in Patrick Peterson. They did lose Anthony Harris, but it is okay, Vikings fans. Your defense is going to be crazy good this season, maybe, if they can stay healthy, of course. And then we all know the offense. I mean, Adam Thielen's probably going to be fully healthy. Hopefully, Irv Smith can break out since Kyle Rudolph is gone. Dalvin Cook's going to be there doing what he cooking it up like he always does. And then they brought in Rashawn Slater, who's going to help protect Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. 14, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, I'm going to take a lot of heat for this because we all know the Miami Dolphins are a young team. I just don't feel comfortable with the Miami Dolphins offensive line and front seven. On both sides of the line of scrimmage, I don't feel comfortable about it. I really like the Dolphins secondary. So I think it's probably top 10, but the front seven concerns me. I don't really know what to expect from them. The offensive line is also very bad, and they have the weapons, and I still don't have confidence in Tua. I think Tua is really hurting off the hip injury, and just like A.J. McCarron, just like all those Bama quarterbacks, we don't know what to expect from them. So we'll see, but I think the Dolphins at 14 is sufficient. 13, the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they brought in Carson Wentz. They still have a very young and underrated defense, possibly the most underrated. Definitely a top 3 offensive line, probably with the Browns and the Patriots. And then definitely the receivers, I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I could see them being a top 10 team. I would honestly think that the Dolphins would be better than them, just because of the Colts receiving game. T.Y. Hilton is really just regressing. He's got injuries, and I don't think Michael Pittman isn't a wide receiver one at all, not even close. And then the running back, I mean, they're getting Marlon Mack back, and then Jonathan Taylor popped off. And I think Carson Wentz will do much better with the Frank Reich offense. 12, the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be healthy, but even, and this isn't for records, when healthy, the 49ers are a good team, all right? The 49ers, their secondary is really killing me. I mean, that's why they're not a top 10 team in my books, because the secondary, Richard Sherman, like I've been saying a lot, getting older every single day. And the secondary just is not great. So I can't – that's the main reason. The front seven's outstanding, and then injuries. They can't stay healthy on the offense. Jimmy Garoppolo can't stay healthy. None of their running backs can stay healthy. Deebo Samuel can't stay healthy. George Kittle. But hopefully if the 49ers can stay healthy, they're a top 10 team. For now, I got them at 12. 11 is my New England Patriots. Call me biased all you want. The New England Patriots are not a top 10 team in the NFL, but they are top 15. All right, they brought in 11 new additions to the offensive defense. They brought in Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith to revamp the old New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski, 2 tight end set. They also use that with Martellus Bennett and Rob Gronkowski. So they love using their 2 tight ends. And then, of course, they can block. They can be versatile. They brought in Trent Brown. And then their defense, they brought in Kyle Van Noy. They brought in Matthew Judon, Devon Godchow, Christian Barmore. And then Jalen Mills. And then, of course, Mac Jones they brought in. I don't think he'll start, But if Cam Newton doesn't play well, Mac Jones will come in. They'll have the full offseason to recover from COVID and injuries, and hopefully Cam Newton can play better. 10, Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals brought in a lot of big names. Yes, they are. Most of them are old, as they brought in Matt Prater, J.J. Watt, Rodney Hudson, A.J. Green, just to name a few. And they also brought in Zavine Collins. I think they still need a corner bad, but I think they're all right. The Cardinals, top 10 team. 9, Seattle Seahawks, another NFC West team. Seahawks, they addressed the blocking game when they brought in a tight end in Gerald Everett. They also brought in Gabe Jackson. I really like this team. I think the defense is improving. They did lose Jaron Reed, but it's still in the Shaquille Griffin. But the defense is still it still isn't as terrible as it was at the beginning of last season. The offense is definitely still amazing with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Although they didn't fill in that wide receiver 3 need after losing David Moore, but I expect them. They did bring in Dwayne Eskridge, so I'd like to see him do well. They held on to Chris Carson, still have Rashad Penny. Seahawks, they have a dynamic offense. 8, the Tennessee Titans, King Henry's team. This team's, they don't have a receiving game, all right? They don't, okay? They lost Corey Davis. Adam Humphries, we don't know what's up with him. But A.J. Brown's going to get a lot of targets this year, and they're relied on the run game, if you think about that, too. If Derrick Henry goes down, they're screwed, but let's not hope for that. Unless you're a Colts fan. Just kidding. Don't ever hope for an injury. But the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill, extremely underrated. And then, of course, you got that amazing running game, that great offensive line around him, too, and a pretty sufficient defense, as I think they are at 8. 7, Baltimore Ravens. They rely on the run game as a distraction for Lamar to pop off. The only reason why Lamar won his MVP campaign was because of his running ability. All right, he seems to be like the next Michael Vick. Now, I don't think he will be, but when teams catch on to the Ravens, the reason why the Ravens aren't top 5 is because when teams catch on to what the Ravens are doing, which happened multiple times this year against the Steelers, it happened against the Patriots, it happened. When they catch on to your game plan, the Ravens can't do anything else. I like the defense, but it is regressing. But I still think they're a top 7 team. The run game is getting better all the time. They did lose Mark Ingram, but J.K. Dobbins, he's going to do well this season. Also brought in Rashad Bateman. So I like what they did this season. 6, the Green Bay Packers. All right, I know that Aaron Rodgers wants to leave, but this is the thing. Aaron Rodgers is still on their roster. And if until Aaron Rodgers is off their roster, they are still a top 8 team. All right, the Packers will still always be a threat to win the NFC with Aaron Rodgers, and he is not off the roster yet, so you can't say they're not a top 10 team anymore because Aaron Rodgers is still on the team. And even without Aaron Rodgers, they're still probably maybe the top 15 team, maybe possibly still in the playoffs. They still have a great defense. They got a good run game. They got a Davante Adams, of course. So you just can't depend on Green Bay to get rid of Rodgers. And 5, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, people said the logo was ugly at the beginning. I kind of like it, to be honest. But the Rams, they brought in Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff. They gave up more first-round picks, which is just stupid, but it's okay, as they still have a great defense. And the quarterback, they still have, of course, amazing John Wolford. They have Matt Stafford. The receiving game, still Cooper Kupp, still Robert Woods, and then they got Tyler Higbee at tight end. The line still is okay, even with 39-year-old Andrew Whitworth. But the Rams definitely, with the Stafford addition, is now have taken that leap to probably be in the leaders of the NFC West. Number 4, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns really did well addressing the defensive need. You look at it, they brought in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. They brought in Greg Newsome. They brought in John Johnson. They brought in Troy Hill. They brought in Jadeveon Clowney. The defense is going to be a lot better, and they still have a dynamic offense. The dynamic run game, still great weapons around Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's really proven to be their franchise guy. And the Browns are definitely a top team in the AFC, also a top team in the NFL. 3, the Buffalo Bills. Now they're known for breaking tables because they can't somehow win a Super Bowl. But the Bills, I think this team's legit. All right, the Bills, they got an insane receiver quarterback duo and Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Running game's questionable, but I still think Zach Moss, Devin Singletary combo is great. And the defense isn't too bad as well. I mean, you got Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Trey White back there in the secondary. The defensive line isn't too bad either. Ed Oliver, Jerry Hughes, Matt Milano. And I think the Bills definitely are a lot like the Browns, just with a worse run game. And I love this Bills team. I mean, as the Patriots, I don't legitimately love them, but as a sports YouTube producer, content creator, I think the Bills are a great team. 2, the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2020 champs, the 2021 losers. Now the Chiefs, even with the loss, are still a great team. Still have a great offense. They signed Joe Thuney. They brought in Orlando Brown. I mean, they still are a great team all around. They got Patrick Mahomes, probably the best QB in the league. So I really like this Chiefs team. Offensively, defense is questionable. I don't really know what's up. But they cut Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, 2 of the best tackles in the league, which was really dumb. But the Chiefs, they're still a great team, and they're still the second in the league. You know who's number 1? The Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Bucks. All right. They had a ton of free agents that could have left this season, but they were all faithful to Tampa, and they all re-signed. The Buccaneers are in the perfect situation to succeed, and there's just one more game this season for them to win. They retain Shaq Barrett, they retain Chris Godwin, Gronk, Antonio Brown. I mean, it's just such a great team. And you got the amazing O-line, Tom Brady, the great wide receiver duo, Ronald Jones, Leonard, and Lombardi Lenny. And then the defense, don't even get me started on that. That is scary. The Bucs are the best team in the league. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Tell me your thoughts on power rankings. I'm going to be doing more preview and predictions for the NFL season, even though it's sadly about 6 months away. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Peace.